Are you someone who set themselves the task of starting a side hustle in 2025 but haven't been able to get the business off the ground? Or are you a solo entrepreneur who has a business but needs to find a way to level it up? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do next in order to help your business grow. I'm Abby. I've been an entrepreneur for over 10 years and I've built and supported several startups that are now making hundreds of thousands and in some cases millions of pounds a year. And I've identified 5 areas that, if managed well, will propel your business to the next level. On the flip side, if any of these areas is underperforming, this may be the problem that you need to solve in order to increase your chances of success. To help us illustrate these 5 areas, I want you to think about your ideal customer. Let's call her Jane. And let's storyboard the journey from someone who is completely unaware of your business to someone who's purchased from you and plans to purchase again. So Jane's online, she's doom scrolling through social media and notices your brand. Maybe it's a paid ad or a collaboration with an influencer, but it solves a problem that she has and she's curious. So then she follows a link to your website. She's really impressed by your sales pitch and decides to make a purchase. She pays for your product or service and waits for it to be delivered. It arrives and she's really happy with it, so much so that she plans to purchase again and recommend it to her friends. Now, in that simple customer journey, a lot of things needed to go right in order to give Jane the best experience. But there are 5 underlying practical skills at play which guarantee this outcome. And if your business is struggling, the next thing for you to do is develop any, if not all, of these skills. Now, the best thing about each of these skills is that if you get really good at any one of these, other businesses will pay you to help them out. And that's my story. I learned each of these skills when I was building a business before realizing that other businesses would pay me to help them do the same thing. This meant that I gained 5 additional streams of income. And that's not theoretical. I've been paid to deliver each one of these skills to other businesses, but I mainly use these skills to ensure that my own businesses are successful. So let's dive into it. Skill number 1, creative design. So creative is just a posh term marketers use to describe the visual elements of your brand: logos, colors, fonts, themes, etc. And you can learn all of the skills that you need to start your brand free right here on YouTube. Better yet, you don't even need fancy graphic design software. I was able to build a brand that made over £600,000 a year by using PowerPoint alone. Case in point, the graphics you see right here, PowerPoint. Most of the thumbnails on my YouTube channel, PowerPoint. The logo for my YouTube channel, PowerPoint. You don't need to purchase any expensive software, but when you're ready to level up, Canva is a great way of getting started. If you find that you're absolutely loving this type of thing, then maybe consider Adobe Illustrator. Remember, the better you get at this sort of thing, the more likely people will be to pay you to help them. What about video? Well edited videos are also an important way to stand out in the marketplace. Again, you can do this for free with Instagram and TikTok that have their own inbuilt video editing software. But if you'd like to level up, you can use intermediate applications like CapCut, VN, or iMovie. And if you really want to make this your craft, consider learning something like Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro. The biggest creators on YouTube don't edit their own videos. They pay someone else to do it for them. So it's a great side hustle and a skill that's in high demand. Skill number 2, website building and email marketing. You might wonder why I've grouped these 2 skills together, but it should be clear as I go on. You see, in business, first impressions are extremely important. I can't tell you how often I've clicked on a website and clicked straight off because the website looked like I'd landed on a 2005 MySpace page. The ability to design and maintain modern looking, easy to navigate websites is an important skill and one that will help your business stand out. A good website, though, isn't just about looks, it's also about functionality and understanding how human psychology impacts what we expect from a website. Now, even with good websites, there's a chance that I'll still click away because I'm a millennial and my attention span is only about 8 seconds. So, if in the first 5 seconds I see a website pop up offering me 20% off if I subscribe to the newsletter, then the company has at least one more chance to convince me to spend money. And you'll notice this from all the big brands. If you put something in your shopping cart and don't make a purchase, you'll get an email reminder. Or maybe you'll get an email with a tailored discount, which will prompt you to make a purchase later on. Now, when it comes to website builders, my top four are Shopify, Wix, WordPress, and Squarespace in that order. Now, I can go into detail about why that's my list in another video if that's something that you want. But all I'll say here is that I would use each of them depending on the type of business I was building. They all have pros and cons, but the beauty of each is that they all have their own email marketing tools to help you engage with people who visit your website. My advice to you is to train yourself on at least one of these website builders and do some research into bespoke email marketing tools. I use MailerLite, but there are loads of good options that will integrate with your website builder. Here's a good point for me to pause and ask you for some feedback by liking the video or adding a comment. I'm still new to YouTube, and your feedback lets me know if I'm missing the mark or not. Also, stay to the end because number 5 is easily my favorite skill. Skill number 3, accounting. Website builders cost money, marketing ads cost money, inventory costs money. So, how do you know how much you should be spending on each? Furthermore, when Jane makes her purchase, how much of that profit should you reinvest into the business, and how much of that belongs to the taxman? All of these questions should be answered in a good accounting course. After about 10 years working with several businesses, I've lost count of the number of businesses that have failed, almost failed, or even didn't really get started because the founder didn't have a good handle on their finances. Now, you can find all of the information you need regarding how to manage your company's accounts right here on YouTube. But one cheat code I've learned is to familiarize yourself with an accounting software like Xero, QuickBooks, or Sage. Now, I use Xero, but all of these platforms provide great tutorials and training regarding how you can manage your company's finances. In my experience, of all of the skills that I mentioned in this video, accounting is the most lucrative if you can turn it into a side hustle. However, it's the only skill that I would recommend you get a formal qualification before offering your services. Making a mistake with somebody's finances is a guaranteed way to create an enemy for life. Skill number 4. Whether you have a product or service, the physical components of your business are either an essential part of your brand or a really important part of bringing it to life. Think about flyers, posters, or branded labels. If you're selling a physical product, this may include packaging, postal bags, business cards. It may even be the product itself. Many brands don't actually make their own products. They work with a third party to supply the product and they just add their logo to it. This is true for pretty much everything that you buy on Amazon. In a successful business, it's essential that you ensure that these purchases are cost effective, delivered on time, and high quality. A poor purchasing strategy could be costing you thousands of pounds a year. So clearly, a good approach in procurement is super important. In retail, the person responsible for this activity is normally called a buyer, and good buyers must conduct market research and analyze competitors to identify products that meet their company's needs for the best price possible. There are so many competing vendors out there, so this can be really time consuming if you don't know what you're doing. Buyers are also responsible for maintaining good relationships with suppliers, which could be the difference between getting a good or bad deal. And finally, buyers must ensure the quality of the goods they purchase meet the company's standards. There are loads of places you can go to find good suppliers, and here are a few that I use. But to help you level up in this skill, you'll find a bunch of links to great books in the description of this video. Last but not least, I have skill number 5, delegation. Now, skill number 5 is last because if you've looked at the first 4 skills and think to yourself, I do all of this stuff really well, so why am I still struggling? Then this one is for you. You're probably someone who is a bit of a perfectionist and believe that if you want things done right, you have to do it yourself. Well, what if I told you that this is the mindset that's holding you back? You see, the problem with this mindset is that it will force you to focus on the details of your business rather than the big picture. And you need to focus on the big picture to grow. Outsourcing is what frees you up to focus on the strategic direction of your business. Yes, you could spend 10 hours editing a YouTube video, or you could spend that time thinking about new ways to attract customers. Delegating tasks to talented professionals is a skill. And from my experience, unwillingness to do this is one of the main reasons that founders struggle. You may think that you don't have enough money to pay a third party to do your accounting or design creative for you. And if that's the case, then I've got one question I'd like you to consider. How much is your time worth? You see, if you think of the transaction as an investment in your business and commit to use that time that you now have to focus on other areas, then that purchase will pay for itself. There is another type of person that I'm talking to here. If you looked at the first four skills and thought to yourself, I don't want to do any of that, then outsourcing is obviously for you. However, it's really important that you have a basic knowledge of each skill. Otherwise, people like me could pretty much charge whatever we want, and you'd have no idea whether you were getting a good deal or not. In 2025, there are so many places that you can go to find affordable third party support. And if you haven't tried Fiverr, I recommend it. But this goes both ways. If you spent time developing any of the skills that I've covered in this video, Fiverr is one of the best ways to help you find people willing to pay for your help. I mentioned my love of PowerPoint earlier. I've literally been paid on Fiverr by people looking for someone to help professionalize their slide decks. There are a bunch of other places that you can go to find people to help your business level up. But as you work on the skill of outsourcing, you'll learn how to write a task brief or a job description, how to interpret reviews, and how to find a good cultural match for your business. Saying all of that, I don't think there's any better way to learn the skill of outsourcing and recruitment than to just do it. The barrier to entry and associated risk are so low that it's worth just diving in. There are loads of friendly and skilled professionals like me who are willing to hold your hand through the process and help you get the outcome that you need. So, there you have it, 5 skills to help you level up your business today. I recommend that you get proficient at all 5, but if you invest your time and effort in just one, your chances of success will improve. But what do you think? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments, and of course, please like the video. It lets me know that the content is helpful. Once you've picked a skill that you'd like to work on, one of the best ways to get really good really quickly is to find a mentor. And if you want some advice on getting the best out of a mentoring relationship, then I would recommend that you check out this video on screen.